Archangel Michael says, the enemy has grown smarter, colder, and more desperate. They could not confront you directly, so they chose something more twisted. They planted eyes where you never imagined, silent, secretive, and dangerously close. For days now, you've felt it. That strange tension in the air, that feeling someone was near even when no one was around. Your instincts weren't lying. Something has been observing your every move. At first, you brushed it off as paranoia. But then came the hints, the inexplicable battery drain on your phone, the distorted light reflection, and even the subtle changes in how objects were placed in your own home. What you thought was normal, was staged. The object that hides it isn't something suspicious. It isn't behind a picture frame, or in a corner light bulb. It's hidden within something far more personal, something that holds your trust. This camera is inside a gift you received with love. It wasn't just a camera, it was a tool for betrayal. A silent witness capturing your conversations, your solitude, your vulnerabilities. Every step you took in your own comfort zone has been monitored and replayed by someone who wants to exploit your peace. This person didn't come from far away. They once sat at your table, shared laughter with you, and pretended to care. But all along, they were waiting for the perfect moment to plant the seed of surveillance. And now, they've been watching. They know what you eat, what time you sleep, the names of those who visit. They know when you cry and what you whisper in your darkest hour. This is no coincidence. It's a setup, executed with precision. You are being watched through a camera hidden in something you never expected, a stuffed toy, a pen, a mirror, even a charger. It was chosen deliberately because they knew you'd never suspect it. And you didn't, until now. Do you remember that gift you hesitated to accept? The one they insisted you keep, even when your gut said otherwise? That wasn't kindness. That was the moment the trap was set. That's when your privacy ended. They timed it well. They picked a day when you were emotionally low. When you were open to comfort, to connection, to gifts. They entered your space disguised as a friend, but walked out with control over your sanctuary. Every recording, every image, every breath you took has been archived. They've stored it, reviewed it, and possibly shared it. Not just with one person, but with others who have a dark curiosity about you. There's footage of you in your rawest moments. Talking to yourself. Mourning alone. Planning your future. And they've seen it all. The question is not if they did, it's what they'll do with it now. Archangel Michael says, the time has come for you to reclaim your space. You must act swiftly but silently. Don't show panic. Don't let them know you know. You are now the observer, not the victim. Start with what changed recently. What new object entered your room, your home, or your office? What was gifted to you that now seems oddly positioned? Which item never moved before but now seems disturbed? Don't confront anyone yet. Not until you're sure. Watch the watcher. Analyze the patterns. Set your own trap. This is your battlefield now. And you are divinely protected. Their motive wasn't just curiosity. It was jealousy, envy, an unhealthy obsession with the life you're building. You're climbing silently, and your light disturbed their shadows. They wanted to break you without touch. So they hid the attack behind technology. A camera, hidden in a picture frame. A camera, concealed in the air purifier. A camera, disguised in a wall clock. Or worse, your own smart device compromised. The watcher may be someone who never left your past. Someone who couldn't bear to see you move on, grow, succeed. They're stuck in what used to be, and so they tried to pull you back through digital chains. They are hoping to use the recordings to blackmail, manipulate, or humiliate you. But Archangel Michael says they have underestimated your strength. Their plan is about to backfire. You see, they believed you'd remain unaware. But this message is your alarm. And now you are awake. And once awakened, you cannot be silenced. You must be careful. Don't discard the object too quickly. It may contain evidence that will one day expose their entire operation. Instead, document it. Take photos. Keep your own records. Secure your network. Change your passwords. Check every camera on your devices, even the ones you didn't know existed. Get a professional scan done if needed. You're not paranoid, you're under attack, and now you're fighting back. Archangel Michael says, you are not alone in this battle. Heavenly forces are standing by, guiding your hands and decisions. The person behind this will not escape consequences. Judgment has been written. There is a deeper layer to this. The camera was not just meant to watch. It was programmed to break you spiritually. They wanted you to feel haunted, violated, helpless. But instead, it will become your turning point. The very device used against you will be the stone that crushes their deception. You'll rise from this stronger, with a testimony that will silence every mocking voice. Think back. Who asked you odd questions about your room, your daily routine? Who seemed overly interested in how your house was set up? Who kept calling you at times when you were alone? Those weren't harmless coincidences. They were steps in their plan. But their arrogance made them sloppy. And now, their fingerprints are all over the trap they created. There's still time. You can still beat this. But you must remain alert. You must not let emotional attachment blind you to who they truly are. Remember, evil often wears the mask of care. Your room is sacred. Your peace is powerful. And they trespass not just into your space, but into your soul's sanctuary. That cannot go unpunished. You will expose them. Soon. At the right time. And when you do, others will finally believe what you've been saying all along: someone was never who they claimed to be. Archangel Michael says, you are going to walk into a truth so loud, even those who doubted you will have to apologize. The person behind this is about to be cornered. And you will be the reason. Keep watching the signs. Flickering lights. Strange clicking sounds. Slightly shifted objects. All of these are indicators of hidden surveillance. Your intuition is not broken, it's divine. The days of being watched in secret are coming to an end. You are reclaiming your visibility. On your terms. Not through someone else's hidden lens. There is a list. You're not the only one they watched. But you are the only one who's going to do something about it. Your courage will set others free. The camera they used might be inside a gift box, a framed photo, or even inside a power adapter. That's how clever they got. But they're not clever enough to escape what's coming. Someone in your circle already knows. They're not involved, but they've suspected it. Watch their behavior. Who flinches when you speak about feeling watched? Who changes the topic when you say you need a break? They know something. They might help you. Or they might be afraid. Either way, you'll find out soon. Keep your eyes wide open, because the truth is walking toward you fast. You are not losing your mind. You are discovering theirs. And what you'll uncover is darker than you imagined. But brighter is the light that's about to flood in once you remove the mask. They didn't just spy. They laughed. Watched you cry and mocked it. Watched you pray and called it weakness. But heaven heard those prayers, and now heaven is answering with wrath. Soon, they'll make a mistake. They'll click something wrong. Forget to delete a file. Or someone will leak what they have. And the entire web will crumble. And when it happens, you won't even need revenge. The exposure itself will be their punishment. And your silence will become the loudest declaration of victory. Until then, pretend like you don't know. Watch how they behave. See how long they think they're winning. Then, when the right moment comes, strike with truth. In a few days, a signal will show up. Maybe a phone alert. A software glitch. A sudden drop in temperature. That's the moment. That's when heaven says it's time to act. Take back your story. Restore your dignity. And never again trust blindly. You've grown wiser, not colder. This was never just about a camera. It was about control. And now, you're taking it back. But something else is happening behind the scenes. The person who planted the hidden camera is growing restless. They're starting to feel the shift, your energy, your awareness, your silence. It's all making them nervous. They never planned for you to find out. They thought you would stay naive forever. But the moment you received this divine warning, the balance shifted. Now you hold the power. You may have already noticed their behavior changing. They used to call you often, now they go silent. They used to joke freely, now they stutter when you speak. Their confidence is cracking, because they know, the game is almost over. What they once used to monitor you will now be used as evidence against them. The device that recorded your life will now record their fall. Because when heaven steps in, every scheme folds. There is someone who warned them not to do this. Someone with a conscience who was part of the plan, but pulled out too late. They will come to you. Not directly, but through signs. Watch for a message sent by mistake. A misdialed call. A stranger who suddenly brings up a conversation they shouldn't know about. These are divine cues. Don't ignore them. This hidden camera isn't the only thing they used. There were others, whispers, setups, even fake accounts meant to stalk your social media silently. They wanted access from every angle. But their thirst for control has blinded them. And now, even their allies are walking away. The web they wove has begun to tangle them instead. Their hands are dirty. And soon, everyone will see it. You may discover that the camera is no longer recording. That they remotely disabled it. But don't be deceived. The damage was already done. They gathered what they wanted. And that's why they're retreating. But Archangel Michael says, retreat doesn't mean escape. Justice is not done yet. They will soon be identified, named, and held accountable. Heaven's judgment is never late, it is always precise. You may even feel rage. Betrayal cuts deep, especially when it violates your private space. But do not let that rage consume you. Channel it. Use it as fuel to protect others, to speak the truth, to make sure this doesn't happen again. Someone will try to gaslight you. Tell you you're overreacting. That it's not a big deal. That everyone has cameras these days. But don't fall for it. This was not consented. This was targeted. And it was evil. There will come a moment when you hold the device in your hand. Maybe you'll unscrew a decorative piece and see the tiny lens blinking. Maybe you'll open a device you thought was off, and find files inside. When you do, pause. Breathe. Do not destroy it immediately. Photograph everything. Keep backups. This is no longer just your story, it is a weapon against deception. What they don't realize is that while they were watching you, someone else was watching them. Not just heaven, but someone physical. A neighbor. A technician. A delivery person. Someone has seen more than they admit. Soon, they'll come forward. Not because they want to, but because they must. They've seen enough. And they'll help expose the one who tried to hide in shadows. The person who placed the camera may be close to you in disguise. A friend. A romantic partner. A family member. Someone who smiles too much when you speak of your future, but always disappears when you need real support. They did this out of obsession. Not love. They wanted access to you without your permission. But access is not affection. Surveillance is not support. Manipulation is not love. Archangel Michael says, you must cleanse your space spiritually. Burn incense. Speak light into your walls. Walk through your home with intention. Let your voice declare, no unseen force has power over me. You'll feel the atmosphere shift. The heaviness lift. Because the camera wasn't just recording, it was also a spiritual gateway. They invited darkness into your space. But you are now the gatekeeper. Don't be surprised if you start dreaming of them. Seeing them in your sleep, watching from a corner, speaking in riddles. That's a side effect of psychic invasion. Their energy has tried to latch onto yours. But now that you're aware, the chains are breaking. You'll start seeing clearer, thinking sharper, moving differently. You are no longer being controlled. You will be guided to the truth. Maybe a child will mention something innocent. Maybe a neighbor will reveal something they thought was nothing. Piece by piece, the puzzle will build. And then it will happen. One document. One photograph. One video will land in your hands. And it will confirm everything you felt, everything you feared, and everything they tried to hide. They underestimated you. They thought you'd be weak, silent, frozen. But you are rising like fire through smoke. And when you rise, others will rise with you. The hidden camera may be destroyed, but the spirit behind it is not yet done. They may try again. Another gift. Another gesture. Another scheme. But this time, you're armored. You'll feel it before it enters. You'll know when the energy is wrong. You'll stop it at the door. Because now, you are no longer blind. And one day soon, they'll be forced to watch you on screen. Not in secret. Not from behind a hidden lens. But on a public platform, standing tall, exposing truth, reclaiming power. This will end in your favor. It may be messy, loud, emotional, but it will end in your victory. They will have to answer for every second of stolen privacy. And the world will know your name for the right reasons. The camera that was used to invade will become a monument of exposure. And your name will be attached not to shame, but to strength. You will not be remembered as the one who was watched, but the one who woke up. So rise. Search. Scan. Pray. Speak. Investigate. Cleanse. Protect. And watch them fall. Your healing will not come from forgetting, it will come from confronting. From facing the bitter truth that someone tried to erase your boundaries. But instead of falling apart, you chose to rebuild stronger. The camera wasn't just planted to observe. It was placed to control the narrative. To twist your truth. To create a version of you that fits their dark fantasy. But Archangel Michael says, they failed the moment you became aware. Every moment they watched you, thinking you were weak, was in fact a moment recorded for their downfall. The universe is always balancing energy. What they sent toward you in secret will return to them in public. There will be a specific hour. A message you'll receive. A name that will be mentioned in a strange context. That will be the final sign. That will be when you'll know exactly who was behind it all. You are going to walk into your own truth with courage. What they tried to dim, heaven will now magnify. The room where they watched you will become the space where you rise, where your real journey begins. There's a woman who knows. She was once close to the person behind this. She warned them. Told them it was wrong. But she stayed quiet, until now. Soon, she will break her silence. She carries a piece of the story. She might bring it to you in fragments. Don't rush her. Don't dismiss her. Listen carefully. Her truth will lead you to the full picture. There will be tears, anger, but also relief. Because you're no longer guessing. You're now moving with clarity. And that clarity will open doors even their spying couldn't predict. Archangel Michael says, the camera that saw you cry will also witness your laughter soon. The same lens they used to record your weakness will capture your strength. And the heavens will echo in joy. Begin cleaning your physical space. Rearrange your environment. Move objects you haven't touched in weeks. Observe how some feel heavier than they should. You're not just moving things, you're breaking energetic connections. That object, the one where the camera was hidden, it no longer holds power. Its spell is broken. But you must treat it like evidence. Handle it carefully. It's no longer a possession, it's proof. Take photos. Record videos. Speak the truth aloud. Your voice is powerful. Let the item know, you no longer belong here. You were used in darkness, but I am a child of light. There may be a short period where your devices act strangely. Glitches. Random shutdowns. These are the remnants of their interference. But don't fear. These are signs that their grip is breaking. Change your habits for a while. Sleep in a different room. Charge your phone away from your bed. Turn off smart devices. Create silence so your intuition can speak louder. And it will. Your dreams will become vivid. You'll start remembering things you forgot. Dates. Conversations. Strange moments that now make perfect sense. This is your mind realigning with truth. You'll begin to notice who disappears from your life around this time. That's not a coincidence. That's divine filtration. Let them go. Anyone connected to the hidden camera will distance themselves, because they feel your awakening. The camera might have been hidden in something symbolic. A photo frame holding someone else's image. A lamp gifted by someone with double intentions. A music box. A perfume bottle. Even a teddy bear. These aren't just items, they were chosen for a reason. Objects that carry emotional weight. Things you wouldn't suspect. Because they wanted access to not just your space, but your soul. But you've outgrown their games. What they tried to hide behind sentiment, you now see as strategy. And it no longer holds power. You are the one holding the lens now. The camera may have been small, but its consequences are not. It broke a sacred trust. And for that, there must be a reckoning. You might face resistance when you begin speaking. People will say, "Why would anyone watch you?" or "You're just imagining things." But don't be discouraged. The truth always faces denial before it finds justice. You will find an ally soon. Someone who knows this game well. Maybe a cybersecurity expert. Maybe a spiritual guide. Maybe someone who went through something similar. They will show up when you're ready. They'll help you locate the hidden files. The cloud storage. The secret folder. And once you find it, you'll know, this was not just a violation, this was a plan. The person behind it had help. This wasn't done alone. Someone else knew. Maybe they even funded it. But one by one, the snakes will be exposed. Their whispers will turn into screams. And you will be the one holding the truth. Archangel Michael says, soon, your silence will speak volumes. Not in revenge, but in revelation. The world will not just hear your side, they'll see the evidence. This was never just about what they saw, it was about what they tried to steal. Your energy. Your secrets. Your voice. But instead of stealing it, they amplified it. Because now you're louder than ever, wiser than ever, and unstoppable. You'll start to feel freedom return. The room that once made you anxious will begin to feel like yours again. You'll open the windows without fear. You'll sleep without second-guessing the shadows. This is the rebirth. The moment your inner power overrides their outer manipulation. And once you rise, the same people who watched will now witness your transformation. They will be haunted by the look in your eyes. Not one of fear, but of fire. Not of weakness, but of warrior clarity. And they'll know, the camera didn't break you. It awakened you. Their downfall has already begun, even if they don't realize it yet. The very files they collected are starting to leak beyond their control. They tried to store them secretly, but energy like that doesn't remain hidden for long. One misstep, one corrupted file, one forgotten password, and everything they tried to control becomes public evidence. They will soon receive a message. A message from someone who wasn't supposed to know. Someone who says, "I saw something strange, is this what you've been hiding?" That will be their breaking point. The cracks are forming. You won't even need to expose them, they will expose themselves out of fear and guilt. And when they do, your silence will thunder across every space they once invaded. You may begin to feel your body react. Your skin tingles when you walk into certain areas. Your ears ring at random times. Your heart races when you approach one particular corner. These aren't random sensations, they're spiritual sensors. You are not crazy. You are connected. That object still carries their energy. The camera may be small, even disguised within another object, but the spiritual fingerprint is undeniable. You'll feel it like a cold breath on your skin, a whisper you can't hear, but you can sense. When you find it, don't panic. Breathe. Claim your space. Speak into the air, "This space belongs to me." Any energy not sent by the divine must leave now. And then, document it. Secure it. Let it serve as proof, as power, as protection for others. Because you are not the only one. That person didn't stop at you. Others were targeted too. People weaker than you. People who didn't make it as far. But your courage will become the weapon that sets them free. You'll start receiving messages. People will say, "I thought I was the only one. I felt watched too. No one believed me." And suddenly, you won't just be a survivor. You'll be a leader in the battle against invisible violations. They'll call you brave. They'll call you chosen, but only you will know how painful the awakening was. And how much strength it took not to break. Archangel Michael says, "You were chosen not just to endure, but to reveal." You are the vessel of truth. And now, the world is ready to listen. Soon, you'll come face to face with the one who did this. Maybe not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, through a dream, through a confession, through an accident. But they will be exposed. They will offer excuses. They'll say they didn't mean harm, that it was just curiosity, that they needed to know. But you will not be fooled. You'll hear their voice, but you'll listen to their spirit. And their spirit will reek of guilt, obsession, and deceit. And you will walk away. Not in silence, but in power. They'll lose access. They'll lose control. Their tools will turn into evidence. Their secrets into headlines. And their darkness into disgrace. And while they're trying to erase everything, you'll be preparing your next move. Because this isn't just a personal victory, it's a spiritual shift. You'll help others install boundaries. You'll teach others how to recognize energy imbalances. You'll stand for those who were too afraid to speak. And most importantly, you'll never be watched again without permission. You might feel pain when this is all over. The kind of pain that comes not from the act, but from the betrayal. From the realization that someone so close saw you as a subject, not a soul. But Archangel Michael says, pain is not your end. It is your elevation. And it will be the reason you rise into a life they can never touch again. You are moving into a new dimension of discernment, of spiritual clarity, of boldness. And with every step, the memory of that camera fades, not in shame, but in strength. Soon, your space will feel lighter. The room they watched will become the room you create in. The corner they hid in will become the corner where you build something beautiful. And when they think of you again, it won't be through a screen, it'll be through the echo of the silence you left behind. Because you won't look back. Their obsession will haunt them. Their recordings will become their regret. And the image of your face, no longer broken, but bright, will be the only thing they're left with. You will be gone. Elevated. Untouchable. Unwatched. Archangel Michael says, let this be your final message to them. You tried to watch me in secret. Now heaven watches over me in power. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. The silence after exposure will be the most deafening for them. They used that camera to catch you at your weakest. They waited for your tears. They watched your vulnerable moments, hoping you would never rise. But what they didn't expect was this version of you, the awakened one. The version now rising like fire from ash. The very silence you held before, the confusion you kept bottled up, the moments you sat and wondered if something was off, all of it was preparing you for this. Now every detail makes sense. Every gut feeling was your divine shield whispering, "You are being watched." They watched you sleep, eat, cry, heal. And worst of all, they watched you trust. They watched you live, thinking you were alone. But they were wrong. You were never alone. Heaven was right there. Heaven recorded them while they were recording you. Every deceit, every lie, every twist, every play they made in secret was being documented by a force far higher than any lens could reach. And now, that force is pulling all strings into alignment. One mistake at a time. One truth at a time. One reckoning at a time. There is a person who helped them install it. Someone who thinks they're hidden. But their conscience is cracking. They are now battling themselves. They can't sleep. Can't eat. The images are stuck in their mind. Soon, they'll reach out. Not out of kindness, but guilt. Out of pressure. Out of spiritual heat. They will send a message, anonymously, trying to warn you without naming themselves. That's when you'll know, the walls are caving in on all of them. You will have proof soon. A screenshot. A recorded call. A confession. It might come unexpectedly. But it will land directly into your hands, orchestrated by divine timing. When it does, keep your reaction calm. Breathe. Don't rush to share. Don't confront too soon. Let the truth ripen, let it gather enough weight to crush every lie they've built. And when it's time, you will know. You will also come across something symbolic, maybe a broken clock, a flickering light, a gift that suddenly shatters, a digital device that just stops working. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual signs that the curse is lifting. That object with the hidden camera might even fall, break, or expose itself through damage. That's divine intervention. That's the energy around you revolting against what was never supposed to be there. Archangel Michael says, they used tools of technology to manipulate. But now heaven is using tools of truth to expose. There is a woman you haven't spoken to in a long time. She has secrets. Secrets about the one who placed the camera. You'll cross paths with her soon. Don't approach with anger, approach with wisdom. She holds pieces of the puzzle. Her story will feel unbelievable. You might even think she's making it up. But she isn't. She knows how deep this rabbit hole goes. And once she starts talking, everything will align. There's a folder on someone's device, named with your initials, your nickname, or something you said long ago. That folder is full of images, clips, recordings of you. That's how obsessed they've become. That's how deep their sickness runs. But that folder is also their damnation. And it's slipping out of their hands fast. They once controlled you with wires and lenses. Now, you control their fate with nothing but awareness. Even the people who once supported them will begin to question. Why did they care so much about this person? Why do they have this footage? Why are they acting strange? Whispers will begin to spread. People will piece it together. The watcher will become the watched. And their kingdom of shadows will collapse under the spotlight of divine truth. You don't need revenge. Your healing is already the weapon. Your survival is already the sentence. Your strength is the evidence that their mission failed. They wanted to catch you broken, but instead, they captured the birth of a warrior. Don't be surprised if they try to return. They may act innocent. Act sorry. Act confused. They might pretend they just found out or heard something crazy. But you'll know better. You'll hear their trembling. You'll see the sweat behind their smiles. You'll feel the panic they can't hide. And you'll walk away, calm, composed, victorious. You're no longer afraid of being watched, because you're now standing in full visibility with nothing to hide. Every secret you had was sacred. They tried to desecrate it. But your soul, protected by divine fire, refused to bow. The next phase of your life will be clean. No hidden watchers. No false friends. No gifts with strings attached. You'll live boldly, in clarity. And your energy will now repel anyone with impure intentions. Your home will glow differently. Your sleep will return. The sounds at night will change. The mirror will reflect peace again. Because the lens they used will now serve as your testimony. And when you tell your story, whether online, to a friend, to a stranger, you won't tremble. You'll speak with power. Because you survived a digital war and came out spiritually unshaken. Archangel Michael says, they placed a camera to record your downfall. But heaven used it to document your rise. And now, walk boldly. Speak softly. Trust cautiously. And never, ever doubt your instincts again. Because the enemy might hide behind plastic lenses, but you are wrapped in divine light. They hoped you would never speak. They thought the shame, the confusion, the disbelief would seal your lips forever. They believed you'd shrink into silence. But what they didn't account for was the fire that's been quietly building inside you. The more they watched, the more you awakened. Every invasion only made your spirit grow sharper. You stopped trusting blindly. You started listening more to the whispers within your soul. And now, you are no longer the person they planted that camera for. You are no longer afraid. You are aware. You are empowered. You are watching them now. They won't sleep the same anymore. Every knock on their door will feel like judgment. Every ping on their phone will feel like exposure. Because the one they spied on has become the one they fear. Their mind will torment them more than any punishment. Because they saw you up close, raw, unfiltered, and they still tried to break you. But now, they know you're unbreakable. And that truth will haunt them louder than your silence ever did. You will be offered a chance to press charges, to expose, to speak publicly. And when that time comes, you will choose wisely. Not out of vengeance, but out of justice. Because you're not just doing it for yourself anymore. You're doing it for every person who ever felt the unseen eyes of betrayal. In the weeks to come, expect strange things to unfold. Old friends may message you, suddenly distant. Family members may hint at things they once ignored. People may confess what they heard but never told you. All of it is coming to the surface. The mask is slipping off multiple faces. And though it may hurt, it will liberate you. You'll look back on this season as the one that made you redefine everything: trust, space, energy, love, loyalty. And from that redefinition will come a life more solid, more real, more protected than ever before. Archangel Michael says, the enemy set up a camera to invade. But heaven used it as a mirror to reveal. Now you see everything. And what you do with that vision will shape the rest of your destiny. If there's one final message this journey leaves with you, it is this: never again will you question your inner voice. When it feels wrong, it is. When you feel watched, you are. When you sense deception, trust it. Your soul is equipped with divine intelligence. And that intelligence is no longer silent, it is roaring. It is leading. And it will never let you walk into darkness again. The object that once held the hidden lens now sits in your space like a relic. You'll look at it one day, no fear, no anger, just power. It tried to define you once. Now it serves as a symbol of your triumph. You'll keep it not as a threat, but as a reminder. That no matter what eyes were upon you, you walked through it untouched in spirit. Because they could watch your body, your actions, your words, but they could never access your soul. That was sealed. That was guarded. That was wrapped in divine armor. And now, that armor shines even brighter. The season of surveillance is over. The era of spiritual clarity has begun. No more hidden lenses. No more fake gifts.